Yeah. Detroit's finest, huh? 50-something years old, still wearing a costume. Let me show you how this works, old man. You spent 30 years teaching the world how to rap. Now let me use your own lessons against you. With a real Slim Shady, please sit down. Grandpa's at the mic, still clowning around. Beard looking dyed, flow sounds like a robot. Rapping about his mama, boy, you need to let it go. Stop. With a real Slim Shady, please sit down. You've been wearing that same mask since Y2K now. 50 years old screaming, I don't give a damn. Nobody bought it then and nobody's buying it, fam. Hey yo, I hate to be the one to finally say it clear and plain, but Marshall Mathers is a grandfather who's still playing make-believe games. You got grandkids be yet you're still out here screaming shady. Like the name isn't embarrassing, a 50-year-old man doing the same old tire claim. It's a shame to sustain, it's insane how you maintain the charade. Like a Halloween display left up in the middle of May. It's the cage, you're afraid that without the alter ego, you're just boring and plain, just a bald and white dude from Detroit with a whole lot of rage and no aim. And speaking of the look, bruh, what is that beard? MGK told you straight that dyed chin strap is weird. You clowning back, but bro, he made you look in the mirror, and what you saw must have been unclear, cause the dye makes it worse every year. You went from Slim Shady to him? Maybe he should just retire, it's clear. A grandfather dyeing his beard to appear like a peer, but the youngest of beard to aesthetics of a veneer constructed in 99 and preserved like a relic in fear. The most authentic rapper alive, wearing a costume career after career. Now let's drive the elephant, the one that stands ignored. The reason Rolling Stone loved you is something black artists can't afford. Your lane was pre-approved before you walked in through the door. The gatekeepers heard your action, flipped the latch and said, here's more. Billboard loved the novelty, your white boy spitting raw, while voice, while black thought, while gift the gab got ignored. You surfed the wave of privilege dressed up as outsider lord. Dre handed you the keys to a kingdom that wasn't yours to explore. In that relapse phase, God, where do I even start with that? Rapping with a strange voice, how'd you like that? You sounded like a cartoon villain reading off a cue card back. A fake European accent rapping about murder. What kind of art is that? Even your fans said, Marshall, put the accent down and step back. But you double down like always, cause you never know when to react. With humility, ability, don't cover up the fact that relapse was a relapse into every bad habit in yourself. The real Slim Shady, please sit down. Grandpa's at the mic, still clowning around. Bear looking dyed, flow sounds like a robot. Rapping about his mama, boy, you need to let it go. Stop. With a real Slim Shady, please sit down. You've been wearing that same mask since Y2K now. 50 years old screaming, I don't give a damn. Nobody bought it then and nobody's buying it, fam. 25 years, and the subject matter never changed once. Mine was bad, Kim was mad, fame is sad. You're a broken record, son. Every album is a therapy session that nobody signed up to attend. You've been processing the same 3 traumas on a loop that never ends. We get it. Baby was a mother of the year, she wasn't a saint. But 40 albums deep, still painting her the villain in your paint. Bro, at some point a therapist would say, let's try a different complaint. Your whole catalog's a toddler tantrum dressed up in lyrical restraint. And a mom complex. Let's sit here for a second, let's stare. You've written more diss tracks towards your mother than any battle rapper dares. My mom cleaning out my closet, headlights back and forth, back and forth. You hate her, then you love her, then you hate her, man, pick a course. You monetized your mommy issues into a 3-decade resource. Meanwhile, actual poets write about the world with emotional force. You're stuck in that Michigan trailer, Marshall, and that's the source. Your whole career is unresolved childhood trauma on a backing horse. Now let me talk about the rap god argument fans love to make. Speed is not a skill when the song itself is at stake. You cram 400 words a minute into a track and they celebrate like a human metronome is the highest art form we should venerate. Rapping fast is a trick, a technique, not a testament to great Charlie Parker. Played fast too, but he also knew when to wait. You don't groove, Marshall, you calculate. Every bar is a math equation solving for its own rhyme's sake. And those rhyme schemes, yeah, they're technically insane, I won't lie. But you'll rhyme orange with 4-inch just to say that you tried. You bend meaning in the pretzels just to make the syllables ride. The message drowns, the feeling drowns, everything gets fried. You so obsessed with the mechanism that the music died inside. It's like a watchmaker who forgot that the point is to tell the time. You spend so long polishing gears that nobody wants to ride. To your music, it's a term paper, not a track that makes you vibe. That not a light flow, the choppy robot staccato attack. It doesn't slap, it sounds like a fax machine having a panic attack. Stands call a genius, but your average listener just steps back. You sacrifice musicality for a technical feedback track. Not afraid. Oh God, remember when Marshall went pop packaged? Stadium anthems, this-time chorus, Disney inspirational rap for 97 Bonnie and Clyde. We are not afraid, just like that. Make it make sense and make it stop, cause that whiplash is a fact. With a real Slim Shady, please sit down. Grandpa's at the mic, still clowning around. Beard looking dyed, flow sounds like a robot. Rapping about his mama, boy, you need to let it go. Stop. With a real Slim Shady, please sit down. You've been wearing that same mask since Y2K now. 50 years old screaming, I don't give a damn. Nobody bought it then and nobody's buying it, fam. Let's talk about your war record, cause the resume is shaky. Your diss list reads like a pop culture yearbook, mostly minor, mostly basic. Mariah Carey, Triumph the Dog, Christina Aguilera, Lana Del Rey, Moby Marshall, you would have to Moby. What is there to say? These are not battle rappers, these are not the wolves you should be facing. When Pac and Biggie wore it shook the industry's foundation. You beefed with a pop star who didn't even know your name existed and made a career of it, obsessive, one-sided and twisted. Mariah, specifically bro, we need to have this intervention today. You spent more time on Mariah than she's ever spent thinking your way. Obsessed was her song, but you're the one who was obsessed, let's be straight. You cling a relationship she denied, then you couldn't let it fade. Track after track, year after year, you kept reopening the same debate. A Grammy-winning legend living rent-free in your head, how great. The most powerful rapper alive allegedly couldn't escape the hold of a pop singer who moved on without you back in 98. The Nick Cannon stepped up, and here's where the narrative flips. Nick Cannon had you in your feelings and your fingertips, dropping track after track while you stayed silent, biting your lip. By the time the bagpipes dropped, you lost your grip. The internet decided Killshot was a win, cause Stan said so, that's it. But MGK kept touring, kept charting, the career didn't quit. If Killshot was a kill shot, the body would've dropped, it didn't hit. You claimed the victory in a beef where your opponent just continued to exist. And Benzino had a point beneath all the smoke, not about his talent, but about the oxygen that your presence stole. Every magazine cover, every greatest of all time quote, crowded out the lane for rappers darker than your skin tone and your coat. You'll say, that's not my fault. And maybe that's partially true, but you never use that platform to say, look past me, look at who is starving for the shine that I get handed by default. You just cash the checks and claim that race had nothing to do. In Kamikaze, I need a moment just to laugh at this for real. Critics gave you bad reviews and you made a whole album about how you feel. That is the most fragile, most transparent, thinly veiled ordeal. An artist so allergic to critique he couldn't let it heal. You named it Kamikaze like you were on a noble warrior's deal, but a kamikaze pilot dies on impact, so what does that reveal? You crashed into the critics, but somehow you survived the spiel and declared yourself the winner. It's a very different kind of zeal. It's in this where it matters most, the mirror you avoid. You built a whole career on shock and roll, on being the asteroid. Giving as you screaming murder fantasies to a stadium crown overjoyed. You called it art, but art resonated a woman's terror to be deployed. The shock was never break, it was a crutch for a boy who was paranoid. Death without the controversy, what got the blood, without the noise destroyed. Nobody was listening, so you screamed louder, more unhinged, more void, and mistook the flinching of your audience for being overjoyed. But here's the kill shot, the real one, not the one you named. You already wrote the verdict, Marshall, you signed it, you framed your own conviction on bad guy. Remember what you claimed, deceitful, but you played the villain and you set in your own shame. You said it yourself, you're the bad guy in the story you explain. That you destroyed the people who love you, left wreckage and pain. That a real monster in every song you wrote was but one to remain. When the persona fell away, this Marshall guilty, unrestrained. You gave us 30 years of some shady, you'll haul a mirrors act. But every mirror pointed back at Marshall, and that's simply the fact. You're not an anti-hero, you're not a genius, stepped over all the contracts. Super dramatized Nick from Michigan who never learned to relax. Who made $1 billion making drama into artifacts. Who silenced his own competitors, boarded all the spotlight vendor tags. Anyone who dares suggest the emperor's new outfit is cracked, and the beard is still dyed, and the alter ego still intact. So for the real Marshall Majesty, sit down now, please. Not Slim Shady, not Eminem, just the man underneath. The one who asked God talked about, the one who can't find peace, the one who raps about his mother, cause the therapy's incomplete. You're not the villain and the hero, you're just human deceased. To the energy it takes to keep this character on repeat. Hang the costume up, old man, and finally get some sleep. Cause the rap game moved on, grandpa, while you guarded your mystique. You taught a generation how to rhyme, unfortunately. You also taught them what obsession looks like. Sit down. Marshall, for real this time. We're good.